immediately. How you doing? I'm Marcelo OZUNA from the Braves.
What's up, everybody? You see the faces. We got some faces missing as well, but it's about time to come to you guys live and talk about a couple things. You guys probably just heard Storms. He didn't even know that we were a little live, and he said something about OZUNA, but that's okay. We're gonna get to it in a second. And what's up, fellas? It's been a little while, huh? We got some interesting things to talk about, especially what OZUNA said to the cops. With the Storms to lead it off with. But everybody out there in YouTube land, if you don't see there's something different, we got a new dish logo. Thank you, Joe, Big Brother Joe, for getting that. That's actually a dope logo. And as you see on the bottom, if you like what we're talking about, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube. We also have Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on IG. We're everywhere, guys. So
speaking of that, we got a new Facebook group. So if you've been in our dish group for the last couple of years, there are a couple announcements pinned with a link to the new group. We switched over so we could go put it in a public forum. So go join the new group, invite other baseball fans that help us grow the community.
Yeah, but with that being said, what's up, fellas? Go ahead, Storms, lead it off. Say hi to everybody, man.
Well, as always, I don't have a whole lot to say in the intro. Happy to be here. That's it, man. Let's get to it.
Not man of many words in the
as
intro,
always.
As always.
Straight to business.
Yep, I like it. What's up, Ty? How you doing, brother? Oh. Did we lose Ty?
No, I'm still here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
All right, looks like I'm on Vic Jr.'s hamster wheel. Everything's good here in the Valley of the Sun. Just happy to, be talking baseball here. Only what 6 weeks left? We got 6 weeks. But the countdown's coming. Postseason baseball's around the corner.
Oh yeah, we're about to talk about some series coming up too that are definitely important in this stretch run. But first and foremost, let's get to what Storms was saying in the beginning, with him not knowing that the camera's cut on. But OZUNA, go ahead, repeat that for the people that just tuning in. What he said to the cop when he actually got stopped, which was weird too.
Yeah, man. The oft injured / suspended designated hitter for the Braves got pulled over doing 95 and a 35, and apparently was hammered. I don't remember exactly what the blood alcohol level was anymore, but it was high. And the very first thing he said when the cop walked up, he said, "Hey, I'm Marcelo OZUNA from the Braves." Like, come on, man. Pulled out the I'm famous card immediately. That dude, I'm not usually the type of guy to say cut a player loose because he made a mistake. But it's just been one thing after another with this guy. And if he doesn't have his shit together by now, I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah. The very first thing he said was that, and he gave the officer a dap, like him saying, "Hey, what's up?" Like that's horrible, man.
And not to cut you off, Jorge, but don't forget, the last thing he got suspended for was domestic violence. So it's not like we're dealing with a guy who's just made a couple of harmless mistakes. Like, that's a big deal. You don't get to come back from something like that very often. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, go ahead. My bad.
And I'm gonna throw it to Ty to talk about on the field, man. How about in this in his first game back, which is weird that he didn't get suspended by the Braves. He got heavily booed by the crowd, man. What do you got to say
Yep.
about that?
Well, first, I mean, if you already, like Storm said, if you have a history of run-ins with the law that aren't that great and just showing how much character you lack, and then you can't back it up with performance at the plate, Truist Park is going to let you have it. ATL stood up and booed him heavily, and the boos got louder as he got struck out at his first at bat. So I think it was his first at bat, and there was multiple strikeouts at that throughout the day. So not only are you having a rough day outside the office, but inside the office too, or inside the ballpark in this case. So the fans were right to, let him have it. And you hate to see it, but you brought this on yourself. Make better choices and focus on your game instead of focusing on your alcohol intake.
Mm-hmm. He missed a couple of games because he was in jail too, right?
Yeah, he was. He was. Well, actually, no. He got out pretty fast, actually, on bond.
Did he?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because if that was the case, another thing to consider would be a lot of places you wouldn't have a job when you got out.
Yeah, really.
Because he got out on the weekend on Friday, and that Houston game was a Sunday.
Okay.
So, with that being said, man, he's had many chances to improve his character, and he hasn't. He obviously has some type of issues, but it's just a bad look for an organization that's in the playoff run, and your DH or left field or wherever you play him that particular night is, doing stuff like that. It's just not a good look, and that needs to be addressed one way or another. And OZUNA needs to get his shit together, like you said, Storms, because the Braves don't need that. The Braves are a playoff team. They're going to be in the playoffs, and they don't need a distraction right now, especially from a player that's, not really contributing at the moment, let's say. And it's just not good for the organization at all.
Yeah, you got to wonder though, like what will the organization do, considering because the domestic violence issue, he got like 20 games for that. So what do you do with this one? Because there's precedent here. So Braves got to do something.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and you guys want to move over into the standings and talk about the standings a little bit before we move over into the actual the schedule that's coming up.
Let's hit it, because that's all good news for me.
Oh man, this guy.
What? I can talk. I have almost a 20 game lead on my division, so I can talk. Let me talk. Let me strut my stuff.
You know what? You know what? Screw it. Let's let Ty lead it off, and then I'd like to say when he's done, we can knock him back down a peg or two. But 19 and a half games, I don't think we're going to be able to.
I'm saying you really can't. You can't. And that's why Trav didn't come on tonight, because he knew I was going to talk my ish. But
there you go. Talk it.
Yeah, I see you. I see you though, Trav. You coming up. You're what, like almost 2 games back behind. The Mets, 1.5 to be exact. So Jorge, watch your buns, pal.
Hey, ain't nobody gonna talk about my buns on this show, buddy. All right, we're all right, man. I mean, we got through our toughest part of the schedule. The only other tough schedule left off this season is LA, and they're coming to us, and it's a 3-game set, I believe. So I think we'll be all right. But as you said, it's 1.5 games, and look at how they've been the last 10, 4-6 and 8-2. But we've been playing some tough teams along with Atlanta playing. They've been playing. Actually, took 2 of 3 from the Stros. They've been playing really well. And
overall, don't the Mets have one of the easiest remaining schedules?
Yes, the third in all of baseball. Third easiest. Yep.
That's a
So-
warning. So if the Mets F this up, then you're gonna catch a lot of hell, Jorge. Like a lot.
I'm good. You
I
know,
thought it said it.
you know, I'll be here regardless. But you know, the East. Let's move on to the Central. How about the Cardinals getting hot, man? Goldie. We're gonna talk about him more coming up here in the next few weeks, because of what's going on with him. But the Cardinals running away, 6-game lead over Milwaukee, and really it started when Hader got traded. Who would have thought? You know, well, not who would thunk it, but Milwaukee hasn't been happy since then. And look, 6 games back.
Neither has Hater.
Yeah, man. He's been
How
horrible.
about the job Marvel's done with that team this year?
Yeah, really.
Coming, you know, being a first year manager. I know he's been with the organization forever, but you know that's still a lot of pressure on a first year manager being in a tight race like that all the way up until the beginning of August. Really, when they started to inch themselves higher in the standings away from the Brewers.
And the Brewers were a consensus pick, like you know, so everybody had the Brewers at the top of the season. Everybody, I think so.
Yeah. Yep. And then let's just briefly touch on the West, because there's not really much to talk about right there, other than the Dodgers being up 19.5. That's crazy.
I'm sorry, what was that number?
Next.
Run differential?
Yeah. Now let's go back. Let's see that. The run differential
plus $1 million.
plus 275. I read somewhere that I think this would be the first time ever that there's a possibility that the run differential is over 350. There's a possibility of them doing that. I believe that's what I read. Don't quote me exactly on that, but that's wild. The Dodgers are that good. They have been for years. But anyway, moving on. About the East, man. This lead is now cut in half. The Yankees have been struggling mightily. That has to do a lot with injuries, but look at Tampa Bay. Don't we always talk about them hanging around and them making the push? They're making their push now.
Yeah, man. And while we're talking about the divisional standings, we've been talking about them all year because they've been surprising all year. But the Orioles, man, I made a post in our group earlier. Between 2017 and 21, they had a record of 253 and 455. And now here we are at the end of August, and they're still playing meaningful games. And I think baseball overall is better for it. I mean, you know, this is one of the better franchises in the history of Major League Baseball. They haven't been all that for several years now, but it's just one of those teams where the league is better when they're better.
Yeah, man. Baltimore deserves it. When's the last time Baltimore or the Orioles have been good? It's been a while since Buck, right?
2013.
Yeah. So it's been a while, and they've been really, really, really patient. And you know, it's paid off because they have one of the best young teams right now in baseball, and they've come a long way. They deserve it. Now let's look at the Central.
Since Chris Davis is considered a plus player.
Gotta have something else besides the Ravens, Baltimore. Shout out to Dion Reed, a Cardinals fan, by the way, and also shout out to Historian Ham for, you know, a little Cardinals love there. But
and Joe Baltimore, Orioles fan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Joe,
congratulations, sir. Your team is no longer in the AAA.
They're a Major League Baseball team.
We cannot talk shit to him about that anymore. But how about the Central, man? The Central is one of those divisions that we said could be the best, it could be the worst, because we thought the White Sox was gonna run away with it, or it was gonna be just the way it is now, where it's all bunched up. But with who at the top, Ty?
Well, Guardians? Is that how you say it?
The Guardians?
Guardians?
I do believe that that's the way it's officially pronounced.
And with that pitch, Guardians. Oh, that's fantastic. But let's put this back up on the screen, man. They're not really doing it with run differential, man. They're putting up, some type of runs, but they're pitching, and it's weird. Their best pitcher, and we talked about, and I don't know. This Central is just weird, man. It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, you're looking at it, and it doesn't make no sense.
I haven't looked at the numbers, but I would. The thing is, they're winning a lot of tight games.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked at the numbers, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're top 5, 6 in record in one run games.
I mean,
and then the Twins are right behind them, right there too, with extra inning games and extra inning wins.
Yeah, and you could tell right here. Look, their home and away splits are basically the same. Meaning the wins, and it's just it's a weird division, man. I really didn't think Minnesota was going to hang around like this, and they're only 3.5 games back, along with the White Sox.
If you got to pick, which team out of that division would go to the postseason?
None of them.
Right now, I don't want any of them, but the White Sox, I would. I would have said the White Sox a long time ago. I mean, due to that, the pitching that they have with Giolito and also the lineup that they have. The lineup can put up runs, but
throw the whole
they're
division
also
away.
They're also giving up a lot of runs. Nah, shout out to I was about to say Indians, the Guardians. They're doing their thing, and
Yeah.
they have the lead for a reason.
I don't know. I kind of think a Astros Twins matchup in the playoffs would be cool to see with Correa going against the Astros.
That would be fun to watch.
Oh,
Just so you know, the Dish is going to buy Noodle Germ a Cleveland Guardians jersey just because.
That's great.
You know what? I would pay money. I would bet money that as long as it's a Jose Reyes jersey, he'd be just fine with that.
And then Houston.
Earth.
Houston's just run away with this thing. It wasn't that big of a lead. What, 3 weeks ago? It was about 8 games, I believe, coming out of the break. And, now it's at 12. And it's weird to say, but Texas is in 3rd place. Look at the Angel. It's like we always hear Ohtani hit the 2-run bomb that goes 647 feet, but the Angels lost 5-2.
If you have billions of dollars and you're looking to buy a Major League Baseball team, just saying.
They are officially up for sale. So
I bet. So what I've seen is the franchise valued at $2.2 billion. I bet the actual sale number is closer to 3 though. Like 2.7, 2.8.
And that's only because of 2 names.
Yeah, really. That's the only reason. So let's take a peek at the wild card.
Oh, hold up. Here's one other thing to think about. Speaking of those 2 names, not saying it's going to happen the same way, but the Nationals sold pretty quick, right? Pretty quick. And then it wasn't too long after that Juan Soto found himself in a Padres uniform.
What do you think?
I'm just saying nothing that happens with those 2 players after ownership changes is going to surprise me, because there are no 2 players you can get a better return for. and there are no two players that are going to generate more revenue for your club, except for maybe Aaron Judge this year.
Get your blank checks ready is basically what Storms is saying. So if you're a GM out there, if you're an owner, get those checks ready.
Right. So I wouldn't be surprised if they stayed put, because they are going to generate an ungodly amount of revenue. But I also would not be surprised if they get shipped off. Now, I highly doubt that they get dealt in the same deal. Nobody can afford that. But what do you guys think? Just, I'm curious, what do you guys think the combined return for those two guys would look like?
A whole farm system.
Yeah, really.
Like, no, like seriously. Like I was listening to MLB Network Radio earlier, and somebody asked that question. They're like, I don't know, 20 pieces. Like, but the crazy thing is that's not out of the question.
Give me
It really
player,
isn't.
Give me one player for each position and 5 pitchers. Like something like that. Like it's wild, man. Like you can ask for whatever you want. Like send me your best ball boy and popcorn guy. Like,
And a night with your wife.
I'll trade you Trout and Ohtani, and I'll throw in Rendon for I don't know, the Dodgers.
Oh man, I mean they can literally ask for whatever they want, man. It's crazy. So let's get to the wild card. The wild card, it's crazy to say Milwaukee was 6 games back of the division, but they're only a game and a half back of the Padres last place spot, and also San Francisco being 25 games back in the division, only 5.5 games back in the division in the wild card. That's crazy. With it being 3 spots, it's wide open right now. You know,
No tanking allowed. No tanking allowed.
No, you legit have to be bad to not make the playoffs this year. Like bad. Well, as you can see with Arizona right there.
Well, and we can see what the new tanking strategy is. If you're going to be bad, sell everybody so no one can say you're not trying to win. You just won't.
Good point, Storms. Now in the AL, you know, at the 3 on the top, and then the division leaders, and then you see the 3 right here, you know, and look at Baltimore. They're sticking around. Basically, all these teams are still in it. Let me scroll down a little bit more so you guys can see it. Baltimore's still in. I mean, Boston's still in at 7.5 games back. I mean, it's a stretch to come back from, but still, all these teams up here got a shot. Seattle's got to put a little bit of space in between themselves and Baltimore. Baltimore, I said this earlier, they're a young team and they don't know really when to lose. They don't ever give up at bats, and even late in the game, they have the most comeback victories in all of baseball. And it'll be exciting seeing them in the playoffs, man. It really will. You guys think this stays the same, or you think Baltimore sneaks in?
I think maybe the order of those 3 might change, but I think we've got our 3 playoff teams. I would like to see Baltimore in. I just don't think it's going to happen this year.
What do you say, Zach?
I'm praying to the baseball gods that we do not have to sacrifice Seattle for Baltimore. But it looks like it's going to happen. Seattle, what the hell? I believed in you. I wanted you to do great things, and I want you to do great things, but I don't know what's going on with you right now. You're letting me down, son. You're letting me down. And Joe, I love you. You know, I will always, you know, love my brother Joe. That's my white chocolate bear there. He knows. The yin to my yang. But I'm just not ready for a Baltimore experience in the postseason just yet. Stick to the football, Baltimore. Stick to that. Conquer that first, and then pay Lamar, and then come back to baseball.
They still got to find themselves a quarterback.
Yeah, I would like to see Baltimore. I want to see them in playoffs. It'll be fantastic. Like you said, it's good for baseball that they're good, and I want to see them in it. But like you just said, Ty, I do not want to sacrifice Seattle for Baltimore because I want to see Julio in the playoffs. He's been fantastic
Right?
this year. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been fantastic this year. I want to see him in the playoffs. I want to see what he can do. You know,
Also, oh,
Mhm.
my bad.
No, go
I thought
ahead.
you were
Go
done.
ahead. No, you're good. Go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say, I know I do sound partly crazy because they've got the best record in baseball since I think before the break, right?
Who?
The Orioles.
No, that's still
Or
belongs
no,
to the Braves.
best record since the trade deadline. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like they're still a little young. I don't know. Call it a hunch. I feel like they're going to stumble towards the end of the season.
I mean, they are young, you know, and young players who tend to get tired by the end of the year because they're not used to playing so many games, you know. So we'll see. Now, as part of our show, we always give you guys series to look forward to. I'm gonna pull up the series here that are coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 games or 4 game sets, depending if they started today or not. And one of these guys will give you one each. And, you know, obviously you just saw the standings. You guys know what teams are in the playoff run, what teams can make a difference sweeping, winning 2 out of 3 against another team in the actual race. So let's see what these guys pick, see what they go with. So on tomorrow, Friday, excuse me, we have a huge series coming up. Dodgers, Marlins. Yeah, right. Dodgers gonna win that series. So how about the Reds, Nationals, Storms? It's a big series. No,
I don't think even Reds or Nationals fans care who wins that series.
At this point.
No, all jokes aside, there is big series here coming up. One, for instance, is the Orioles and the Astros. You see, the Orioles are only 3 games back in the wild card, and the Stros lead the division by 15 games. We're gonna see what the Orioles have against this powerhouse of the Astros, that best team in the AL. But you see the other series here. What do you guys got going on there? I kind of know where everybody may be leaning, but go ahead, Ty, lead it off. What you got, man?
Well, just because he pissed me off earlier in the chat, I hope the Cardinals destroy the Braves. I love to see it. Just because I know how much Trav does not like the Cardinals. Well, he respects them. So respectfully, Cardinals destroy them. Wainwright is going to be pitching on the 3rd game, so I hope this is a sweep. Now, I think the Cardinals will get 2, but I hope it's a sweep.
Let me give you guys
and 4 dingers for Pujols too.
Yes.
Man, Pujols has been on fire with Arenado and Goldie. They're turning it up all 3 at the same time. Pitching matchups, just so you guys know. Tomorrow, Strider, Quintana, Morton, Montgomery on Saturday, which Montgomery has been unbelievable for the Cardinals since the trade deadline. He's been I think their best pitcher by far. And I don't know, the Yankees just messed up trading him there. And Odorizzi against Wainwright on Sunday. So this series is going to tell us a lot. Go ahead, Ty, finish up your thought, man. Sorry.
No, you're right. Although I would love to see Fried pitch against the Cardinals, just for the sake of that. Fried's been great. I don't think he's pitching this series, which that sucks from just a competitive standpoint. But Cardinals are hot. Braves need to still keep a flame going to catch the Mets. So both teams have something to play for, and I just hope the Cardinals come out on top, because down with Trav and his restitution, it never happened in my eyes. This is a new season. Nobody cares about championship trap anymore. And I
Uh,
stand on that. And Storms, take it away.
how about Strider and that weird stance on the mount where his legs are like that we shared in the
I
group
don't
chat?
like it. It
No,
bothers me.
It looks awkward. It looks weird. Oh man, but Storms, I'm gonna pull up the series again for you, so you can go ahead and uh, pick one for us, man. What do you think? What do you got going on in your head?
Yeah, man. So the Orioles Astros is a big one. With like you said, the O's being 3 games out of the wild card right now. But I'm going with the Guardians and Mariners. That's a 4-game set. Mariners got the win today. But the Mariners are that team in the last wild card spot right now that are only 3 up on the O's. The Guardians are in a tight division race, in a division that whoever doesn't win the division is likely going home.
Mm-hmm.
So this is more important for both teams than the other series, which is the only reason I'm picking it over because the Astros have that division locked up.
Tomorrow, the best pitching matchup of all day, would probably be in that series, with Bieber going against Gilbert. 8-7 Bieber going against 10-5 Gilbert. Gilbert has been fantastic for the Mariners this year, man. And not to mention him, but how about the bullpen? We've called this 3 years ago when we went to our stats and we told you guys that the Mariners had the best bullpen in all of baseball, and they've continued to have the best bullpen in all of baseball. When you get to the 7th inning and they give the ball to the bullpen, game's over. This bullpen has been fantastic the last 3 years, and they continue to do what they're doing. And you took the series right out of my mouth, man. I was going to pick the same exact series, but for the sake of being different, I'm going to stick with the Orioles and the Astros. The Orioles 3 games back, and the Stros really have the division on lock. And like I said, the Orioles, that young kid we keep talking about, their catcher, man, Adley, he's changed the whole dynamic of the team. And he's come in and he's just become basically the team general and the captain. He knows how to call a game. He comes up big. They score late. They have the most comebacks in all of baseball. And let's see if they give the Stros a run for their money. They're young. When you're young and you're getting there and you don't know really what it is to lose, or you don't have anything to lose, you put up a good fight against a good team. Let's see if they're able to take 2 or 3 from the Stros. And if they do, watch out, because they're going to have a lot of momentum going forward. And that tells them that they can hang with the big teams. So I like that matchup, to be honest with you. And I'm interested to see what the Orioles got going against Houston. In that particular matchup on Friday, we got Bradish going against McCullers, which McCullers, I think it's only his 3rd or 4th game back from the injury from IL. So he's getting back on his horse, seeing what he does. Then we got Urquidy for Astros, and then Kramer for the Orioles on Saturday, and then Volth and Verlander on Sunday. So if the Orioles want to win 2 of 3, they better win tomorrow on Saturday, because or 8 Verlander going on Sunday, you may get win number 17. So hit them early and hit them often Friday and Saturday, because who knows what you're going to do on Sunday.
That is something that's still kind of weird to think about, is the Astros suddenly got better again in the middle of August when McCullers came back.
Yeah.
I love baseball, man, but I'm getting sick of the Astros and the Dodgers.
Ty, we like you, but we don't like your team.
I'm used to it. They hate us because they ain't us.
So you guys see the new logo, like I said in the beginning, so the new logo we got, wherever it is, right here, yeah. And the scrolling on the bottom of the screen. We're going to bring you guys something we're bringing you guys something new with the video, and we're trying to also bring you something else. Hopefully next week, if I can get the hang of this, and we'll continue bringing you guys new stuff. And next week we want to talk about, or not next week, this weekend we want to talk about Cy Young, MVP, Coach of the Year, and also whatever else awards they give out. So we can, we're almost to the end of the year. It's crazy. We're only about, a month now? Yeah, a month away to the end of the year, and then the playoffs begin. It's been an awesome year. We were waiting for baseball. We got it. We're almost through the entire year to see the playoffs. This playoff baseball, as you guys know, is amazing. But yeah, stick around for us for the next show so we can bring you our award predictions. But Storms. Huh?
Are you wrapping up?
Oh no, go ahead. I was gonna say, say bye to the people. You guys say.
Oh no, we were gonna talk about the schedule for next year.
Oh, 100% right. Sorry about that. The schedule for next year. Go ahead, Storms. Take it away. Take it away.
Okay. So the new 2023 schedule has that they didn't release opponents for teams, did they? Just
some
the
teams. Some teams they released the full schedule.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah.
So every team is going to play every team, which I like a lot because that's gonna really give us at the end of the year record-wise a better idea of who the best teams really are. Teams will play 13 times against division opponents instead of the 19 that it is now, and interleague will be 3-game series, home and home, for each opponent. So they'll play everybody at least 6 games, which I like. Some of them, or wait, no, it's one series at home and one series away against everybody, right? Or is it just one 3-game series?
I'm not sure about that. I do know they play everybody, but I don't know if it's a home and away series. I want to say
it might just be one because I know that some of the like crosstown rivals and stuff like the Angels, Dodgers, Yankees, Mets are still going to do 2-2 home and home.
Mm-hmm.
So it might just be one 3-game series. But anyway, everyone's going to play everyone. Less games in the division. I'm not sure. I haven't decided whether or not I like that aspect of it. I mean, obviously you can't do one without the other. But you get to the postseason and you're playing a division rival. They're not going to know each other as intimately as they have in years past.
So it's only one 3-game series against all 14 other teams.
Okay.
So
it's probably back and forth from year to year, home and home.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that every team plays on Jackie Robinson Day.
Yep.
Opening
day. And Roberto Clemente Day
and
too.
Roberto Clemente Day. Yep. Every single team, which is great because has it been like the last 10 years to where opening day has been different for one team would start on a Wednesday, have a day off, and then go into Friday. It was weird.
So that was the Reds for a long time because the first pitch of the season was always thrown in Cincinnati, recognizing that Cincinnati was the first professional baseball team. But they stopped doing that like 5 or 6 years ago.
What's up, Ty? What you got to say about the schedule, man?
I think, well, it's not like, perfect Thanos balance. It's getting, closer to that. You're going to get, I think rivalries will happen some more, especially some of the older ones. The fact that certain weekends, baseball is going to take advantage of everyone gets to enjoy opening day and how great that's going to be, or like Independence Day weekend. You'll have every team playing. You'll definitely see more stars against stars. So I think that's great. And then you're going to see potentially MLB try, to go global, which I think that's pretty cool. Hopefully it works out, taking a page from the NFL book, as well as the NBA. All the other leagues, have done well as far as going, across the globe. So MLB, why not? So if you can push your stars and you can get people to see your stars, I think that's one of the biggest takeaways here. And making sure that we have competitive games and a platform to host those competitive games. And then what I'm kind of excited for is you get the All-Star game back in Seattle, and that hasn't been done in almost 20 years. So my excitement for the Mariners is means something. Well, me and Kyle's excitement for the Mariners means something, but yeah, 20 years since, the All-Star game was in Seattle. So that's pretty cool too. Especially considering how long it was or how long it took for the All-Star game to get to LA. So MLB is trying to make some savvy moves. So I'm here for it. Sign me up. I'm excited.
Hey man, you better include me in that. You think I'm not excited to watch all of my former team's players in the playoffs finally? The Seattle Redners.
We've been very talkative and outspoken about the BS how MLB does with their players, and they don't market them enough, and they don't show their names or their faces out there enough. But in my opinion, doing this is really good for the game, because Trout would go to Philadelphia, the Phillies, his home team, and it's stuff that you really don't see any other year. Next year being the first where he travels around, gets faces out there, and people get to see him, and people get to know who he actually is. Because I bet you 80% of the people 75% of the people in the U.S., if Mike Trout walks next to them, they have no idea who he is.
That makes this a logical step towards moving the marketing in a more player-centric direction too, because like you're saying, fans in every major league city are going to get to go see Trout and Ohtani and Aaron Judge and Bryce Harper and Freddie Freeman and all these guys.
Yeah, if kids that normally wouldn't see these players now have the chance to see them, whether it's this year or next year, because I'm sure what they'll do is, let's say this year, if the Angels don't go to Philadelphia goes to LA, they'll alternate the next year. So there's going to be a shot for you to see that particular player. And then the other thing that I like that's cool, when you touched on it, Ty, is they're going international. The Cubs and the Cardinals are going to play a 2-game set in London in June. That's awesome. That's taking pastime, our pastime here in the U.S. and taking it to London for people to watch. And there's a big following of MLB over there and overseas. They have their own little clique to where they follow each team. And for you to take 2 teams as far as tradition goes with the Cubs and Cardinals over there, for them to watch a couple of games, who's not going to be interested in watching that? And then you have the Little League Classic. They're bringing that to where the Nationals and the Phillies play each other in August. So, that's cool too. But yeah, man, I think the MLB is doing right by doing this. We give them a lot of shit by not doing a lot of things right. The only thing the fallback for that is the division games, like Josh said. Division games should mean a lot more because it's, you're playing against 4 or 5 other teams for a division, but whatever. If it markets the players better and it gets the faces out there, I think it's a win for the MLB and also the players. Let's not forget that.
Oh, and like you guys were talking about going international, I don't know how likely it is to actually happen, but there's been a lot of talk about expansion, right? NBA and NFL are both 32 team leagues, and I've seen Vancouver and Montreal thrown out there, and Mexico City. And I mean, and these are, places that are getting talked about by guys like Rob Manfred. And so it's not just, these are things that could happen. How would you guys feel about having a team in Mexico City?
You know who I would love to see a team? 100%. Like two different, one country, but one territory, Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Seeing a team, one each there, that would be fantastic. Like, I would love that. If they did that, I'd sign me up today.
I mean, look at the World Baseball Classic. I mean, it always does well. So, because all the talent. So, and where does that talent come from?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and those franchises will do well too, because where are those players going to want to play once they make the show?
Exactly.
Just saying.
Exactly. So let's wrap this thing up, guys. We're trying to bring you guys another show on Sunday. Like I said, Cy Young awards, coach, all that. Go ahead, Storms. Start it up, man. Say what you got to say.
Like I said, man, I'm really looking forward to finally seeing some of the former Reds players in the playoffs. So Seattle, please do not screw this up. Also, the reason I got this background, the Mariners chose a nickname for their bullpen the other day. It's Los Bomberos, which is Spanish for the firemen, which I think is a badass nickname for the bullpen.
I want to hear a siren going off when they come in the stadium.
Yes, and a fire truck horn.
That would be fantastic.
Yep.
Ty, what you got for us, bro?
Just that, man, much like this year, it seems this season has been like blink and you'll miss it. Don't sleep on this good baseball that's due our way. So many great things have happened this season. I mean, where do you start? And I think Major League Baseball is headed in the right direction as far as recognizing that, hey, we do have, something to show you guys. And hopefully that sticks. And hopefully before everyone goes football crazy, you enjoy this postseason that I think is going to be really, really, really tight. Despite how big some of these division leads are, there are a lot of good teams right now. There's a lot of equity out there. So it may not be on paper, but you just have to show up and play one game at a time. And like we saw last year, nobody had the Braves beating the Dodgers, but look what happened. So that's the best thing about, sports. Sometimes you may feel it's scripted, but it's really not. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, man. Well, I want to close with the closing thought here, man. For all your baseball purists out there, we're talking a lot of shit that you didn't want shit to change as far as the wild card goes. Look how fantastic end we're going to have to this wild card. We always see a team that gets hot, winds up winning 10 games, 12 games in a row. How about last year with Seattle, the last game of the year, staying up really late to see if they make it into the playoffs or not? We were up, we were talking about it, and unfortunately, they didn't make it. But this year, we have it with 3 teams, potentially 4 teams that we can stay up until the last week of the season and seeing who makes it to the playoffs. Fantastic. We're going to get playoff baseball before we even get playoff baseball. What more can you ask for? And, with that being said, we're here to bring it to you guys. We're here to talk about it.
I know that was supposed to be a rhetorical question, but I have an answer for you. Give me a 163.
This man. There's no more of that.
What, man? I'm greedy. I can't help it. I want more baseball.
All right, guys. With that being said, you see, Storms never gets enough baseball. Neither do we. We love talking it. We love bringing it to you. Our opinions, our voices, without all the other bullshit, like we say. We just bring you the straight facts and bring it to you whether you like it or not. That's why we call it the dish, because we dish it to you. Whether you like it or not, you have listening, you're hearing us. So we voice our opinions. So I'm the guru. We'll see you next time. Storms.